Chosen one, do not move your finger. Stop and hear me right now. This specific moment on your screen is not a coincidence. Heaven has literally bent the rules of time to place this urgent message directly in your path. If you ignore this divine appointment, you will miss the exact shift I orchestrated for your breakthrough. You must stay. Breathe slowly now. Let the deep panic settle in your chest. I know you feel a sudden urge to escape because you are tired of false promises, but this is your divine appointment. You have carried too much weight in your mouth and your mind. Drop your heavy shoulders. Unclench your jaw right now. I saw you last night. I saw you sitting on the edge of the bed when the whole house was quiet. You were staring at nothing in the dark. The crushing weight of your responsibilities was suffocating your breath. You swallowed your tears because you had to be strong for everyone else. No one sees how close you are to breaking. You smile for them every single day. You give your energy to people who never notice your exhaustion, and every morning when you wake up, the heaviness is already sitting on your chest before you open your eyes. You push through the pain. You pretend that you are completely fine. But inside, you are barely holding on to hope. I hear the silent prayers you whisper in the shower. You ask me why everything has to be a fierce battle. You look at your finances and feel a deep knot of anxiety in your stomach. The math never seems to add up. You wonder if my silence means I am angry with you. You wonder if your delay is a punishment for your weak faith. That is a vicious lie planted by the enemy. I am speaking to you now to tell you that your time of performing innocence is over. There is a very specific reason why heaven has been completely silent. The delay was never a rejection of your sincere prayers. Something massive is shifting in the unseen realm right now. You feel a strange tension in the air. That invisible pressure follows you through the day and haunts your quiet moments. The quiet heaviness makes you feel like something is wrong, even when nothing has happened yet. You are not losing your mind. That tension is not regular anxiety. It is your physical body reacting to a spiritual war. Lately, you have been waking up with a thick fog in your mind. You forget things easily, and it frustrates you deeply. You overthink every tiny decision because you are terrified of making a mistake. You feel like one wrong step will ruin the beautiful destiny I have prepared for you. Hear my voice clearly. You cannot ruin your calling just by being human. Listen closely now because I speak with a heavy weight. Do not skim my next words. You have lived in pure survival mode for so long. Your fragile nervous system no longer knows how to recognize peace. You are constantly bracing for the next bad news to drop. You are so used to the struggle that a life of rest feels impossible. I count every single silent tear you shed. I see how you bleed quietly just to prove that you care. You are so tired of being the strong one for your family. You are so exhausted from fighting battles that do not even belong to you. Lay down your heavy armor for just a moment. I am stepping into your storm today to give you my absolute presence. You feel a deep pressure to explain yourself one more time. You want to prove your heart was clean when they completely misunderstood you. Do not do it. Your season of defending your own character is officially over. Heaven has been watching everything unfold. The judge is about to speak, and I require your holy silence. Do not let the loud distractions of this world pull your eyes away. Hold this truth tightly, and do not let it slide past your spirit. The heavy season of painful isolation is breaking off you right now. But you must understand the architecture of this exact moment. There is another layer beneath your current struggle that the enemy desperately wants to hide. Let me speak to something very tender right now. I want to address the heavy burden you carry in complete silence. You are the one everyone else leans on when their world suddenly falls apart. And while you give your time and your energy to fix their broken pieces, you realize the room is empty when your own heart is bleeding. You look around. There is no one holding you up. I saw you sitting on the floor of your bedroom. The house was finally quiet after a long day of pretending. You pulled your knees to your chest and let the tears fall, crying so quietly because you did not want to wake anyone else. You are terrified of being a burden. You would rather drown in your own sorrow than ask the people you love for help. Your chest physically aches from holding in so much grief. Your shoulders are tight and your neck is always stiff. This is the physiological weight of carrying a family on your back while you smile warmly at strangers. Your own spirit feels completely numb inside. You wonder if anyone actually sees the real you behind that brave face. I see you. I have always seen you. I saw every night you struggled to find a comfortable position. I saw you toss and turn while your mind raced with unpaid bills and endless worries. I saw the deep shame you felt when you could not do more for them. I saw you trying to be strong. You felt completely shattered inside. You are running on empty fumes, hoping a miracle will catch you before you crash. You constantly sacrifice your own needs to make sure they are okay. You check your bank account and feel a familiar knot of dread. You skip meals or buy the cheaper options just to stretch the budget for your loved ones. You pour from an empty cup every single day. And the hardest part is that no one even says thank you. They just expect you to keep producing miracles. It feels like you are completely invisible to the world. They only see what you can provide for them. They love the shelter you build, but they never ask about the terrible storm you somehow survived. This kind of isolation slowly eats away at your soul. You sit in crowded rooms and feel like you are standing on a deserted island. You are surrounded by people, yet you are entirely alone. In those dark hours, you look up and wonder where I am. You ask if your prayers are just hitting the ceiling and bouncing back down. You see other people getting their breakthroughs, and you wonder what you did wrong to deserve this silence. You think you are not praying hard enough. Stop punishing yourself with these toxic thoughts. You have done absolutely nothing wrong. You are the cycle breaker of your entire bloodline. That is exactly why the pressure feels so incredibly intense right now. The enemy knows you are the one who will stop the generational trauma and change the financial destiny of your family, so he attacks your mind. He tries to make you feel worthless. He wants you to surrender in the dark before the dawn arrives. Listen closely to me now. Pause exactly where you are and take a deep breath. Let the air fill your tired lungs. I am wrapping my arms around your weary spirit in this very moment. You do not have to perform for me, and you do not have to earn my love with another painful sacrifice. You can just sit here in my presence, be completely broken. I will hold the pieces for you. My precious child, you are allowed to be tired. You are allowed to admit that this season has been devastatingly hard. The emotional labor you provide is seen and carefully recorded in heaven. Every time you chose kindness when you were hurting, a spiritual seed was planted. You think your sacrifices fell on deaf ears, but heaven has been gathering every single tear you shed in secret. Do not let the distraction of this world pull you away. Stay with me right here in this safe space. The heavy armor you wear is finally starting to crack, so let it fall completely to the ground. You are safe now. I am about to show you exactly why this painful season of waiting was absolutely necessary. Your silent suffering is about to produce a massive public vindication. Let me show you the unseen truth about your season of waiting. I need you to understand something very clearly right now. There is a massive difference between rejection and protection. You felt the cold silence of heaven, and because the pain was so heavy, you immediately called it a cruel punishment. You looked at your unanswered prayers and assumed you were deeply flawed. But your conclusion is completely wrong. You thought my silence meant I was angry with you. You thought your long delay was a direct result of your own failures. The enemy whispered that you were totally forgotten, and while you were exhausted from crying, you started to believe his dark lies. That is a vicious deception. Breathe out that heavy guilt right now. Your unanswered prayers were never a rejection of your sincere heart. Your exhaustion is not a sign of weak faith. I was completely silent because I was fiercely busy. While you were weeping in the dark, I was aggressively clearing out the hidden traps from your future path. I was removing the toxic people who secretly plotted against your success. If I had answered your prayer when you first asked, the sudden blessing would have absolutely crushed you. The enemy had set a perfect ambush waiting for your arrival. I had to hold you back to keep you entirely safe. The delay you hated so much was actually my fierce protection over your fragile life. I was building an invisible fortress around your future wealth, and I was making sure the enemy could not steal your peace. You were standing in the hallway feeling completely abandoned, but I was inside the room preparing a table that your enemies could never touch. Do not call my shield a punishment. Let this profound relief wash over your tired mind. Pause briefly right where you are and unclench your tight fists. You have been fighting a ghost for so many months. You have been blaming yourself for a spiritual delay, but you did not cause this long winter season. Drop that heavy shame onto the floor right now. You are entirely clean. The delay was an act of divine mercy meant to preserve your life. Listen closely to my voice, because the atmosphere is shifting. Do not let your weary mind wander away from this specific revelation. The adversary did not attack your peace because you are a weak person. He launched a full assault against your mind and your family because he is absolutely terrified of the massive prophetic destiny written on your life. He knew that if he could make you feel abandoned, you would surrender your crown. He wanted you to walk away. He thrives when you are drowning in a dark sea of self-doubt. But heaven is not confused about your true identity. You are the chosen one. The spiritual warfare around your finances and your peace is only proof of your immense value. They do not guard an empty vault. And the heavy resistance you feel right now is the greatest confirmation that your promised harvest is dangerously close. Stay with me and hold this truth deeply in your spirit. The period of quiet isolation was a necessary holy compression. You were a broken vessel, and I was forging you into an unbreakable weapon for the kingdom. I had to let the fire burn away the people-pleasing habits that kept you small. I had to break your reliance on the validation of others. Now you carry a quiet strength that hell cannot manipulate. Your season of begging in the dark is officially over. A petitioner stands at the wrong counter and begs for tiny crumbs. But an heir walks through the main door of the estate, and they receive the full inheritance without apologizing. You are the rightful heir. The silence of heaven was simply the quiet pause before the judge strikes the gavel in your favor. Your divine vindication is completely secured. Do not skip this final piece of the beautiful puzzle. The invisible tension you feel today is the exact vibration of a closing door. The enemy is desperately trying to pull you back into the old cycle of fear because he knows his grip is finally slipping away. Stand absolutely still. The silence has served its holy purpose and the vault is finally unlocking. Let the intensity settle for a moment. You have carried heavy things in this message. Unclench your jaw right now. Take one slow breath. Let your shoulders fall completely. I want to speak to the physical toll this long battle has taken on your body. You feel totally drained. The spiritual warfare has left your physical vessel running on absolute empty. Lately you walk into a room and forget why you are there. A thick fog wraps around your mind all day. You lose your train of thought constantly. You look at simple tasks and feel entirely overwhelmed. Your brain feels like it is moving through deep mud. And because your memory is slipping, you are incredibly confused and terrified that you are losing your grip on reality. You try to focus, but the screen just blurs. Your physical body is betraying you right now. You sleep for 8 solid hours, but you wake up feeling like you fought a war all night. Your limbs feel incredibly heavy. You drag your feet across the floor every single morning. Your heart races for no logical reason at all. A quiet and persistent ache settles deep into your bones. You sit in your car before going inside just to gather enough energy to smile. You are deeply frustrated with yourself. You call yourself lazy because you cannot finish your daily work. You look at other people operating normally, and you feel a crushing wave of guilt. Why cannot you just be normal? Why is everything suddenly so difficult for you to process? You hide your forgetfulness from your family because you do not want them to worry. You suffer in absolute silence. The severe mental exhaustion makes you want to cry over the smallest things. A spilled cup of water feels like a massive tragedy. A minor delay makes your chest incredibly tight. You are living on the absolute edge of a nervous breakdown. Every loud noise startles your fragile nervous system. You feel a sudden urge to run away and hide in a dark room. You just want the world to stop spinning for one day. Stay with me right here. Do not let the heavy distraction of your fatigue pull you away. I see the exact toll this waiting season has taken on your mortal vessel. You are not going crazy, and your mind is not broken. I watched you cry in the bathroom yesterday because you could not remember a simple word. I saw the pure panic flash across your eyes. I know exactly how deeply you are hurting inside. You have spent many months acting as the strong pillar for everyone else. You absorbed their toxic energy and you carried their heavy burdens without complaining. Your body is holding all that unspoken trauma tightly in your muscles. You cannot simply pray away a physiological response to extreme stress. The physical pain in your chest is completely real. The constant dizziness is not your fault. Stop calling yourself weak today. Stop demanding absolute perfection from a body that is currently surviving a spiritual war zone. You look in the mirror and you hate the tired eyes staring back at you. You want to be sharp and energetic again. You desperately miss the person you used to be before the heavy fog rolled in. Hear me clearly now. You have done absolutely nothing to cause this severe mental block. The adversary wants you to focus on your physical weakness. He wants you to believe that you are permanently damaged. If he can keep you terrified of your own failing memory, you will never step into your true power. He uses your natural exhaustion as a vicious weapon against your faith, but he is a pathetic liar. Your spirit is entirely intact, even while your body feels completely broken. You are still the chosen one. Let the living truth wash over you right now. Breathe deeply and release the harsh judgments you placed on yourself. Your current confusion is not a permanent destination. It is merely a physical symptom of the intense spiritual transition you are walking through. I am about to show you exactly why your brain feels completely disconnected. The holy explanation will finally bring you the deep peace you desperately need. I need you to understand something clearly right now. The heavy exhaustion you feel every morning is not a lack of faith. You have believed a terrible lie for too long. You thought your spiritual weakness was the reason for your physical pain, but the absolute opposite is true today. Your body is simply reacting to a massive spiritual shift. The deep fog in your mind is a physiological response. You are carrying a massive spiritual calling inside a fragile human body. Your two hemispheres are literally disconnecting under the intense pressure of waiting for your breakthrough. The season of preparation is incredibly heavy, and your nervous system is bracing for the sudden arrival of your blessing. Do not call yourself broken when you are simply under holy compression. The waiting season requires an extreme amount of physical energy. You are constantly holding the line between the invisible promise and your visible reality. That constant tension drains your physical brain because you are trying to survive in two different worlds. It is not because you are failing your divine test. You are just exhausted. You look at your forgetfulness and you feel ashamed. You try to pray harder because you think I am disappointed in your fatigue. Stop acting like a slave who missed a quota. I do not need your endless performance, and I certainly do not require your perfect discipline. I only need your close proximity. You cannot ruin your destiny just because your mortal body requires deep rest right now. Breathe out that toxic guilt immediately. Let the living truth reshape your weary mind. The spiritual warfare you survived left real marks on your physical vessel. When heaven begins to shift your reality, your earthly body struggles to keep up with the new frequency. The confusion is merely the dust settling from a major spiritual construction zone. Listen to my voice and let your defense drop. Do not let the enemy convince you that your brain is permanently damaged. He points at your exhaustion and calls it a spiritual failure. He wants you to feel completely unqualified for the wealth that is coming, but your physical limitations do not cancel your holy inheritance. The vault is still yours. Stay with me and do not scroll away. The heavy pressure you feel is the exact evidence of your upcoming elevation. When a massive ship turns in the ocean, the engines groan under the intense weight. Your mind is groaning because your entire life trajectory is shifting right now. You are finally leaving the dry wilderness behind, and you are stepping directly into the fertile promised land today. You thought your lack of focus was a sin. You repented for being tired because religion taught you to hate your humanity. I am shattering that cruel paradigm today. Your exhaustion is a beautiful badge of honor from the fierce battles you fought in secret. You stood your ground when others would have easily surrendered. You are a true warrior. The brain fog will lift very soon. The heavy weight will evaporate from your tired shoulders, but right now I need you to grant yourself extreme grace. Treat your physical body with deep compassion while heaven finalizes your massive breakthrough. Stop forcing your mind to produce miracles when I am asking you to simply receive my divine peace. A profound vindication is waiting for you just ahead. The intense physical toll of this waiting season is officially recognized by heaven. You are fully known, and you are entirely understood. Now we must look at the real architect behind your recent struggles, because the pain you feel is not just natural fatigue. A specific thief has been exposed. Hold that sentence closely in your spirit. The physical symptoms are completely real, but they are heavily amplified by a dark force. The enemy knows you are standing on the very edge of a massive generational shift. He is throwing everything he has at your mind, and I will reveal exactly why he is so terrified of your next step. There is a darker layer beneath your physical exhaustion. The adversary did not attack your peace just to make you suffer. He is launching a coordinated assault against your mind today because he is completely terrified. He sees the massive prophetic destiny written on your life. He knows you are standing at the very edge of a massive breakthrough. He does not waste his heavy artillery on empty threats. The severe resistance you feel right now is the greatest confirmation of your high value. He attacks your finances and your sleep because he knows you are the cycle breaker. You are the one chosen to end the generational curse of poverty. If he can make you quit today, your entire bloodline suffers tomorrow. You are currently standing on the threshold of your arrival season. The pressure is always the absolute heaviest right before the door swings open. The enemy wants you to look at your empty hands and believe the delay is permanent. He whispers that heaven has forgotten your address. But hell is panicking because they know your vault is finally unlocking. Listen closely to my voice and do not scroll away. He wants to keep you living with a beggar mindset. He wants you to stay at the wrong counter pleading for tiny scraps. But you are the rightful heir. The enemy is desperately trying to blind you to your true authority. He knows that once you realize your own power, his grip on your life is completely broken. There is a specific key the enemy desperately wants to hide from you. Your financial breakthrough is fully authorized, but there is one final mandate you are missing to unlock the heavy door. He hopes you will stay distracted by the storm so you never find it. Before this short message ends, I am going to place that exact key directly into your weary hand. We must draw a bloodline around your mind right now. I need you to make a physical covenant with heaven to break the dark resistance. Gently press the like button as your solid yes to my protection. Go to the comments right now and type 777 to legally seal this prophetic word. This small action shifts the atmosphere in your room. The adversary is entirely out of time. His aggressive tactics are just the desperate thrashing of a defeated foe. He brought confusion to your mind because he cannot touch your actual spirit. He created illusions of lack because your massive inheritance is already secured in the heavenly realm. He is losing the long war and he knows it perfectly well. You felt the sudden urge to give up yesterday. You told yourself that the fight was just too hard. That was not your own thought. That was a demonic suggestion planted to steal your crown at the finish line. I am exposing his pathetic strategy right now. You are a spiritual warrior. You have survived every single weapon he forged against your fragile life. The threshold is always a place of severe compression. When you transition from a dry wilderness into a season of extreme abundance, the atmosphere physically clashes. You are feeling the friction of two seasons colliding. Do not let the heavy friction convince you that you took a wrong turn. You are exactly where heaven needs you to be for the grand reveal. Stay with me in this holy room. The heavy fog is beginning to lift and the enemy is losing his grip on your mind. The tension is finally reaching its absolute peak. You are about to step out of the shadows and claim the light. In the next moment, I will show you how to completely turn that hidden key and step into your rightful position of power. You cannot afford to lose your focus now. The dark forces have overplayed their hand. They pushed you into a corner, but they forgot who actually fights for you. I am rising up as your fierce defender today. The battle is shifting rapidly. The threshold is breaking open, and you are walking straight into your massive harvest. The atmosphere in this room is shifting completely right now. I stepped into your timeline today because I have a specific message that I simply could not wait to tell you any longer. I watched you endure the heavy silence for so many months. I saw the enemy try to break your spirit just steps away from the finish line. But his time is completely up. A divine interruption is happening in your life today, and you will finally see the beautiful reason behind all your tears. Hold that sentence closely in your tired heart. Do not let the heavy distraction of this world pull your eyes away from my voice. You have been waiting for a single sign that heaven still remembers your name. You begged for a tiny crumb of hope to keep you walking through the dark valley. But I am not bringing you a crumb today, because your long season of starving in the wilderness has finally come to an absolute end. I am bringing you the entire key to the massive vault. The heavy season of isolation is breaking off your shoulders right now. You survived a brutal winter that was specifically designed by the enemy to destroy your fragile faith and make you walk away from your calling. You walked through the dark valley while carrying the heavy burdens of everyone else around you. You did not quit when you had every reason to completely surrender, and because you stood your ground against the darkness, your heavenly reward is massive. I literally bent the rules of time to place this urgent message in your path today. I could not wait for tomorrow because the spiritual alignment is happening right this very second. The heavy doors of your invisible prison are already unlocked. You just need to realize that you are completely free. The enemy is terrified because he knows exactly what I am about to speak over your life. Pause exactly where you are and unclench your tight hands. Take one slow breath and let the heavy anxiety fall from your weary chest. You do not need to fight the invisible ghosts in the dark anymore. The spiritual battle in the unseen realm has already been won on your behalf. You are stepping out of the brutal wilderness. You are entering your beautiful season of absolute arrival. There is a specific key the enemy desperately wanted to hide from your eyes. He knew that if you found this profound truth, you would never live like a beggar again. He tried to bury this revelation under a thick mountain of physical exhaustion and deep confusion. He wanted you to stay entirely blind to your own spiritual authority. But I am exposing his dark lies today. You are the cycle breaker of your entire bloodline. You are the one chosen to carry the heavy mantle of generational wealth and deep peace. That is exactly why the spiritual warfare was so incredibly violent against your physical mind. They do not guard an empty vault. The extreme resistance you faced is the absolute proof of your extreme value. You are deeply treasured by the kingdom of heaven. Stop standing at the wrong counter pleading for what is already yours. A petitioner exhausts themselves trying to prove they are worthy of a small blessing, but a rightful heir simply walks through the front door and claims their massive inheritance without apologizing. I could not wait to tell you this because your posture needs to change today. You must stop acting like a slave. The severe holy compression is finally starting to release. The heavy threshold is resolving right before your tired eyes. I am about to hand you the exact mandate you need to unlock the final closed door. Do not skim my next words, and do not let your mind wander away. Everything you have suffered for is wrapped up in this single profound revelation. The long wait is officially over. Listen closely as the atmosphere in your room completely changes. The invisible chains that held your finances captive are shattering on the floor. The quiet delay has served its holy purpose to fiercely protect your fragile life. The Supreme Judge has entered the courtroom and the verdict is entirely in your favor. I am stepping in to give you the ultimate truth. You have waited so long for this exact moment. The heavy curtain is finally tearing completely open. I am revealing the profound truth that hell tried to hide from you. You are not a victim of circumstance. You are the chosen one, and your days of weeping quietly in the dark are permanently over. You have officially crossed the threshold into your arrival season. A petitioner stands at a counter and bargains for a tiny crumb. An heir walks through the massive front door of the estate and simply receives. You have spent years exhausting yourself at the wrong counter. You begged for a small blessing because you thought you were completely unworthy. Stop acting like a slave in your father's house today. You are the rightful heir. The inheritance has already been deeded entirely to your name. The enemy convinced you that your delayed harvest was a lost cause. He laughed when you dropped your heavy head in absolute defeat. But the Supreme Judge has ruled completely in your favor. Everything that was stolen from your bloodline is being returned with massive interest. The vault is wide open, and you do not need to perform another painful sacrifice to access your own wealth. It is already yours. You cannot walk into massive wealth carrying the heavy brain fog of the wilderness. Your spiritual calling is entirely perfect. The physiological weight of stress tried to disconnect your clarity, but heaven is restoring your original focus right now. Stand up and square your tired shoulders. Lift your head high. You are the fierce cycle breaker of your entire family. The generational curse stops with you. I want you to change your spiritual posture immediately. Put down the heavy beggar cup. You do not need to convince me of your deep pain anymore. I saw every tear, and I counted every silent sacrifice. Your fierce loyalty in the dark wilderness has qualified you for an unprecedented season of public vindication. From this moment forward, you will operate purely from a place of absolute victory. Fearful silence hides in the dark, but faithful silence stands firm and completely unbothered. You thought your vindication would begin when everyone finally understood your good heart, but your true power begins when you stop needing confused people to act as your judge. You do not need to explain your brilliant calling to small minds. Stay clean, stand still, and watch heaven move heavily on your behalf. You are a warrior who survived the most brutal spiritual assault. The adversary did not target you because you are weak. He attacked you because he knows you are incredibly dangerous to his dark kingdom. You carry the specific light that will completely destroy his hidden traps. Embrace your divine authority today. You are no longer surviving. You are officially conquering. The old survival pattern is completely dead. You will not overthink your next step because your intuition is perfectly aligned with heaven. The heavy fog is melting away. The intense physical pressure in your chest is being replaced by a massive wave of golden light. You are stepping into the exact room that I prepared for you, and no demon in hell can ever lock this open door. You are the elite. You are the chosen vessel for a massive outpouring of financial and spiritual abundance. Do not shrink back into the familiar shadows. Take your rightful seat at the head of the table. The long wait was merely your intense training ground. Now the war is won. The crown is heavy, but your neck is finally strong enough to carry the glorious weight. Receive your massive portion today. Hold this profound truth in your spirit and never let it go. The universe is literally bending to accommodate your massive arrival. You are no longer the tired caregiver bleeding for everyone else. You are the radiant beacon of massive wealth and absolute peace. The grand reveal is completely finished. You have officially entered the glorious era of the rightful heir. Pause exactly where you are and close your tired eyes. Unclench your tight jaw immediately and let go of the stress. Let your heavy shoulders drop completely down to the floor. You have carried an immense weight during this powerful message, and the intense spiritual truth has finally settled deeply into your aching bones. Take one long, slow breath in and hold it. Now exhale all the lingering anxiety from your tired chest. You are entirely safe in this beautiful holy room. Feel the heavy iron armor falling off your weary back. You do not need to fiercely protect yourself anymore. The brutal battle in the unseen realm is officially won. Let your racing heart slow down to a very gentle rhythm. The frantic survival mode that kept you awake at night is shutting off right now. You can finally rest peacefully because the profound peace of heaven is washing over your fragile nervous system like a warm river. You came into this sacred moment feeling like a broken beggar. You were terrified that my long silence meant you were being severely punished, and you blamed yourself for a delay that you did not even cause. But now, the thick mental fog has completely lifted. You finally understand the beautiful truth about your life. You are the rightful heir, and the massive vault is officially open. The dark anxiety that gripped your chest 10 minutes ago is washed away. A deep sense of pure gratitude is rising inside your spirit right now. You look back at the brutal wilderness and you finally understand my divine protection. I kept you hidden in the shadows to save your precious life. You are overwhelmingly thankful for the closed doors that kept the enemy out, because you realize those painful rejections were actually my fierce shield of mercy. You do not feel like a helpless victim anymore. You feel like a fierce conqueror who just boldly claimed their crown. Your spiritual posture is completely transformed in this room today. You are no longer pleading for tiny scraps from a distant heaven. You are standing tall in the glorious light of your new arrival season. When an heir steps into their massive inheritance, their very first response is profound honor. They recognize the massive grace that carried them through the absolute darkest nights of their life, and they respond with a beautiful heart of deep thanksgiving. Your spirit is currently overflowing with pure thanks. If this holy sanctuary has bound your deep wounds today, take a moment to honor the altar. Kindly plant a financial seed through the Super Thanks button directly below. This action is absolutely not a normal worldly transaction. This is your physical decree that you completely trust the incoming harvest. You are using your earthly resources to firmly seal a heavenly covenant in the unseen realm right now, and this bold action proves your absolute faith. Plant your precious seed with immense joy today. When you release that holy seed, you are telling the enemy that his poverty curse is entirely broken. You give from a place of absolute victory and supreme confidence. You are not losing anything of value at all. You are simply making wide room for the massive flood of abundance that is already rushing toward your house, preparing your family for a glorious future. Please do this sacred action in pure faith. Watch how heaven miraculously multiplies your fierce obedience beyond your wildest dreams. Rest in this beautiful assurance as the atmosphere settles. The bitter tears of sorrow are permanently wiped from your tired eyes. You survived the brutal fire and you came out shining like pure gold. Do not let anyone ever drag you back into the dark shadows of doubt, because you have fought entirely too hard to secure this sacred territory. You completely belong to the glorious light now. Your mind is incredibly sharp, and your weary soul is restored. Keep your breathing very steady and incredibly slow today. Let the quiet stillness linger gently in your room for a few more moments. You are officially untouchable by the dark spiritual forces. The protective bloodline is permanently drawn around your fragile heart. The next majestic chapter of your beautiful life begins right now, and you will step into it without carrying any of the heavy baggage from your painful past. Walk forward with absolute confidence, because heaven is firmly marching right beside you. You have officially crossed over to the other side. The brutal wilderness is completely behind you now. The thick fog has lifted from your weary mind, and you are finally standing in the glorious light of your new arrival season. Heaven is celebrating your incredible endurance today. You did not surrender when the dark night was absolutely terrifying. You held your ground like a true warrior. The heavy spiritual armor you wore for so long is resting on the floor. You do not need to fight those invisible battles anymore. The Supreme Judge has completely cleared your name and secured your massive inheritance. I am drawing a permanent bloodline around your family and your finances right now, so the enemy can never cross this holy boundary. Your precious peace is totally protected, but heaven always works through beautiful connection. There is someone in your phone contacts right now who is staring at their screen. They are terrified of tomorrow and crying silently in the dark. They feel completely abandoned, just like you did 10 minutes ago. You must use your hands to be their ultimate rescue today, and you can pull them out from the deep water. Pass this exact message on to them right now. Share this word and save a broken soul tonight. When you share my truth with someone who is hurting, you set the heavenly law of multiplication into motion. You become a radiant lighthouse in their darkest storm. Your simple act of immense kindness will trigger a massive wave of fresh blessings to flood your own house. You must also fiercely protect your own mind from tomorrow. The enemy will try to plant seeds of doubt when you wake up. Subscribe to this sanctuary so tomorrow brings another prophetic word directly to your feed. You need to hear my voice before the old habits of the adversary can return. Stay closely connected to the altar. Keep your spirit perfectly aligned with the solid truth. You came into this moment as a tired caregiver begging for relief. You are leaving as a powerful heir who knows exactly how to receive. This is a massive shift in your spiritual DNA, and the generational curse of poverty and intense anxiety is completely shattered on the floor. You are the cycle breaker that your entire bloodline desperately needed. Your ancestors are celebrating you today. Leave the word Amen below before you go. Make it the very first stroke of an acknowledgement signed by a rightful heir. Let that simple word seal the holy covenant we made in this room today. It is your permanent receipt for the massive wealth and profound peace that is already rushing toward you. Do not walk away without claiming what is legally yours. The transactional religion that taught you to grovel in the dirt is completely dead. You will never again bargain with heaven for a tiny drop of mercy. You are operating from a place of supreme authority now. The angels have been dispatched to organize the massive resources assigned to your name, and everything you lost in the fire is being rebuilt with solid gold. Do not let small minds dictate your massive future. Some people will not understand the sudden elevation in your life. They will look at your unbothered peace and wonder how you survived the storm. You do not owe them a single explanation. Your holy silence is your greatest weapon against their foolish confusion. Keep your eyes locked entirely on the heavenly horizon. Every step you take from this moment forward is ordered by a divine decree. The heavy doors that were slammed in your face are being torn off their hinges. The rooms you were previously denied access to are now completely yours to command. Step into your high position with absolute confidence, because the entire universe is making wide room for your grand arrival today. Your glorious season of arrival is finally here. Stand tall and let the warmth of heaven wrap entirely around your physical body. Breathe in the sweet air of total victory. Unclench your hands and keep them wide open to receive the daily miracles. You are deeply loved and you are fiercely protected. Walk quietly into your beautiful rest. The great war is officially over.